Please take a seat. Dear soon-to-be graduates of the 60th Diploma course, Visionary in the New Reality, or is the new realist. Members of the faculty, Ambassador Harvard from the Foreign Ministry, ladies and gentlemen, and also all those who join us on live stream. This is a very special day for many of us here, and I'm talking especially to our 60th Diploma course of MAIS. It is one of the great moments at the end of each academic year when I say my welcome to you, the students who will be in a few minutes graduates of the Diplomatic Academy, but also to your families and friends, to our faculty and my own staff, our sponsors and our cooperation partners. It is especially for me a great honor to be able to talk to you because I am a graduate of the diploma course myself. And when the diploma course started here at this school, it was exactly the beginning of the new era after the Second World War. That's why it's a 60th diploma course. The first one was initiated by our then Foreign Minister Bruno Kreisky in 1964. I do hope that you enjoyed this year here at the Academy. And I certainly do hope that you understand what studying at the DA means. It means living and working together for a year with people from all corners of the globe that have different backgrounds and come from different countries and also have different ways of thinking. And that's the good thing about it. And I hope that you perceive that this is a real asset, that you're not in a bubble when you study here. And I hope it broadened your horizons and your mind. I'm saying mind, but I'm meaning, and you understand it certainly, I'm meaning the habits of the heart that we tried to instill in you. Habits of the heart was an expression by Alexis de Tocqueville, 19th century philosopher. He spoke about democracy in America. And he said habits of the heart means that if you study, never forget that it's not only reason, but it's also emotion. It's also how you relate to others. You might call it empathy or social intelligence. And that has always been part of what we try to instill in you. And it was not difficult because you're a very diverse group already. 24 students from 14 countries and 3 continents. You are an unusual class, I have to say, because 2/3 of you are male. Normally, we have some sort of majority of females in our programs. You come with a variety of previous studies. Many of you, as usual, law, political science, or languages, but also we have someone with a dancing experience with us, and we also have environmental studies students, and back to our roots, Oriental studies. And I'm happy to say that there are at least 2 historians among you. I always ask historians to apply also to come here. But what did you experience? It was a year where one might say it's a real normal year. After COVID, everything is back to normal. It's not true. And I think our faculty told us this on many occasions. It's an age, and it was a year of the 3 Ds, which are so important. Diplomacy, very important. Democracy, very important. And finally, disruption. Disruption that we experience in the global world nowadays. We do not know whether the new normal will look like the old normal we had. And it is difficult to prepare for this. So that's why we ask you to ask more questions than to give answers. But sometimes you had to answer in our faculty. And you did it brave, I would say. I myself was very impressed of the final presentations that you give. I do not mention any individual among you. You all did very well in this final presentation. And I have already some experience of final presentations of DLG students. You were certainly not only among the best, I felt you were the best at this year's final presentations. That meant that the faculty did something right, but it also means certainly that you did something right. You prepared for something that you were informed only on short notice, and you prepared very well. But disruption is only one of the 3 Ds. Democracy is the second one. And I'm saying this because, as I mentioned, when Tocqueville spoke about the habits of the heart, he said that's about democracy. And whatever you do in the future, never forget that to really have an impact, you have to not only use your mind, but also your heart. And I guess, I knew that at the beginning already, all of you feel that democracy should be very close to the heart we have. And we have a responsibility. We, as people who are better educated, we are not an elite, but we are people who have more responsibility because of the chances that we have to influence others, because of the possibilities that we try to create also for you in the future, not only work environment, but also in the political environment you're going to live. So speak out for democracy. It's not an easy time, as we know it at this very moment. It seems to be the case that other forms of government can bring better results. Don't believe it a second. Maybe they can produce faster results, but certainly not better results. And finally, the D of diplomacy. That's obvious. And it was not the best of years. Just think about many people said, we are studying diplomacy. We failed. We failed in the Ukraine so far. We failed in the Gaza Strip, in the conflict with Hamas and other areas around the globe. But the answer that I think you understand after this year is that diplomacy never fails, because it will always be needed, even if it does not realize its objectives within this year, or let's say next year. It's always worth doing it. And some people always say there is always a day after the war. At the latest, the day after the war, diplomacy matters and diplomacy counts. One of our mottos is diplomacy matters at this institution. Having said that about where we are, I have to say it was fascinating for me to see the different approaches to the tasks and problems we have set you, not only during our final presentations, how you reacted to them, how you dealt with them, and how you used your different personalities also in this. We gave you our best to provide you with the best perspectives that for the job market and for fulfilling interesting careers. I do hope you made a good use also of the skills department that we have, of the career service we offered, of DA Link Career Day, the speed dating, and all the many contacts we could help you to provide during this year. You did not only study diplomacy and IR and economics and so on, but you also learned how to argue in 3 languages, English, German, and French. Most of you can argue now in English, German, and French. But that you can do that is due to our dedicated language department. So give a round of applause to our heads of the language department. Some people say a School of International Studies does not need language departments. I'm totally against this position, and I guess you understand after this year why this is such an important part. It offers you better chances, and it broadens your mind simply if you do this. So I hope that this academy will always have its strong language departments. And as I'm sure you know, even the beginning in 1754 was languages, different languages, but languages. We also thank your course speakers and the DASI, the student initiative. Thank you for the cooperation of this year. It's always a challenge because student organizations at the administrations are on two sides, but actually I always say it's the same coin. Never forget it's the same coin where we are on two different sides. You were active, and it's also good in our societies, in many of the societies that are active here at this place. You were in committees, societies, you wrote for the magazine Polemics. That's also something very important. I read it all. I didn't agree with everything that you wrote, but I never contacted any of you that I do not fully agree with what you wrote. You were part of DASICON, also important to learn how big conferences are organized. Our student conference about digital diplomacy this year. And you were enjoying the DA charity ball, and as I should mention, the performance of one of you who is a professional ballet dancer, was something very special we normally do not experience at this place. So thank you very much for this also. It's always impressive and rewarding for us to see the many talents that are assembled here. And then you celebrated the Chinese New Year. You were part of a delegation, some of you to Brussels, some of you went to Geneva, 2 of you went on a study trip to Iraqi Kurdistan even. And you negotiated an agreement in an intergovernmental committee addressing plastic pollution. I do not mention all the other activities that you offer. And there's some of them the director doesn't need to know. And if he hears about them, he doesn't hear from the DASI or from the students, but from the neighbors. So in short, you were studying together, traveling together, celebrating together, living together. And as I know, one of you even got her family involved. I'm sure that your child acquired a taste for studying and being here and will come back, hopefully as a regular student in the future, having learned so much already this year. We would not be able to do this without the help of at least 3 different groups of people to whom I would like to express my gratefulness on this special occasion. The faculty of the DA, who taught and guided you through your academic year, our chairs, postdocs, visiting professors, guest lecturers from all around the globe, they all deserve to be mentioned on such an occasion. They are ensuring that you have the best education and quite personal supervision, if you want it. Another group I would like to thank is always our sponsors. We have this time Ambassador Harvard with us, and the Foreign Ministry is the biggest sponsor that this academy has. It's not enough that they do, but they are still the biggest one, and thank you very much in the name of all of us. But also to all the private persons, organizations, companies, banks, and other institutions who support us and support you. Some of you would not be standing here to receive your diplomas had it not been for the generous support of these super sponsors. As you know, about 30% of our students receive some sort of financial support in the form of grants and scholarships. And last but not least, I would like to mention maybe the biggest group here in the room, your parents, your friends, and your family, but also the DA staff and all the persons who supported you through your studies. Without them, you would have been poorer during your studies in every sense of the world. So thank you to the parents and friends very much. You have been studying in a very special year because it's 270 years of the Diplomatic Academy this year. 270 years, founded by a woman, by the Empress Maria Theresia. so that the DA can look back on a long history. And you are now part of this tradition. You are now part of this history with being graduates of this school. And I hope you will also help to shape its future, just as you have been actively contributing to the DA life in this academic year. So join us in the Club DA. You are DA alumni soon, and we hope that you will stay active. As you know, there are in 120 countries already, we have clusters of alumni of the Diplomatic Academy in its local chapters. It is the DA's goal to stay closely connected to the alumni. And many of you really follow this, and we have returns from all sorts of people. I don't mention prominent persons now, but surprisingly, we had suddenly on our doorstep a former president of a Balkan country, and she said, I want to come here because I studied once here before I became president of Croatia, to name the country. As I read in your yearbook, I have to be careful because there is one of my successors already mentioned as director of this institution, one among you. I can look at him, but I don't. It's good to be ambitious, nothing against it. I hope you had... I'm soon going to stop. That's too long for the talk already. After all, I hope you had an interesting, rewarding, and productive and enjoyable academic year. A few of you enjoyed it so much that you want to join us for Maestro or for ETSIA. I hope it will be possible to do this and that you can stay here. We are simply proud of you. We are proud of this group of 24 talented and ambitious young people. And as you chose the name, Visionary is the new realist for your class, I'm sure that you will go out in the world and be responsible and active citizens. I once said, a few years ago, when I talked to our students here, I had the feeling they are all idealists. We should turn into realists in the time here. And actually, at this very moment, I talked about disruption. I feel that our biggest challenge is that you are all realists. You have to be realists, and we want to imbibe in you a little bit of the idealism which is necessary to make a change in what you do. So it's good to be realistic, but you need also this idealism. Henry Kissinger was one of the former lecturers here, and he was always repudiated by some that he was such a realist, only talking about the national interest of the United States. But when you read his works about the world order, you find that he said it's necessary to be a realist, but there is so much of a common good out there. And this common good is growing that we have, as diplomats and as those working in the national field, to work also for the common good. Climate change, whatever happens, but also in other areas, the common good is growing. So work also for the common good, not only for the interests that you or your nation asks you to follow. I wish every one of you all the best for your future. You worked hard for this moment, so enjoy this ceremony. This is your day.
Dear Director, dear Deputy Director, distinguished guests, colleagues, and given that this is your event, most of all, dear students. On this special day, I have the privilege to say a few words about your achievements, and I'm really happy that I see all of you. So all of you made it through our sometimes quite tough program. You've worked hard and you are graduating today. This is an accomplishment that you should really be proud of. Most of you know me as an economist, so I'm your economics professor. So I'm known for a different style of teaching. I have a blackboard normally, I have formulas, I have diagrams, bar charts. So I don't have a comparative advantage, so to say, in giving festive speeches, but I still try to add something to what the director said. And what I have prepared today is a speech that has 3 key points. So first I would like to tell you why I think this place, the DDA, is a special place in a positive way. Second, I want to give you my perspective why I think the DLG program is a very unique program. And third, I apologize in advance. I have to give you one last lecture on the tension between good economics and good politics. So let me start by noting something very obvious. We are today in our Festsaal, and behind we have the courtyard. And from my window, from my office, I very often see in the courtyard the vibrancy of this place. I see students laughing, I see students chatting with each other, playing table tennis, having a good time. So I think this is evidence of the DA's spirit. And this spirit is not bound to these facilities here. So just to give you one example, last Sunday, we had our 4th tennis tournament. And we had students from all programs at the DA. The faculty was there. For the first time, also our deputy director joined, and we also had alumni. And it was on a Sunday, and I want to stress this point, so that there is demand from the students to spend the spare time with the professors, the faculty, and vice versa. And this shows you something. Yeah? This is something that sets this institution apart from other institutions that have a more, let's say, conventional academic setting. And how you call this, whether you call this the spirit of the DA, or whether you want to say the DA is a family, I would say it's a very strong community. But we see this, that the DA is a community, and although you graduate today, you still will be part of this community in the future. And as an economist, I have to think about the reasons why we have this good spirit here at the DA. And I think the spirit is driven by a few extraordinary people. I would like to use this occasion also to thank one of these persons. So, I mean, Jenny, I don't see where she is, she's here. So I want to put the spotlight a little bit on Jenny also to express my sincere gratitude to her work. So Jenny is the head of the study department, and the study department has a very pivotal role here to play at the DA, because it connects, it gets requests from all of us, it gets requests from the top management, from the director, it gets requests from the faculty, and it gets, of course, a lot of requests from the students. And I thought about how could I actually visualize the role that Jenny played all the years. So I think the best visualization is that you think about the study department as being a net, let's say a fishing net. And then you have all 3 sides pulling all the time at the net, and sometimes we see holes appearing in the net. And Jenny is the person that ran the last years 24/7 to stitch the holes and fix it. And for this, I really want to thank you also on behalf of the faculty. We really appreciated your work and you also as a person. So that said, also you as a DLG graduate are looking into a bright future. You probably know that the program is one of the oldest at the DA, and we also have this track record. We have this evidence that we have our Hall of Fame, and where we have former presidents, ministers, CEOs, high-ranking civil servants, and also other people who made a career in journalism and academia. So you have a very broad portfolio of choices, And the common thing in all these choices is actually that all are very good careers. This is not to put any pressure on you, it's just a fact. And we think as faculty, of course, that the root of this excellence of DLG graduates lies in the education. So you got a very good education in all the 4 disciplines, and you can also express yourself well in English, German, and French. So this is a really good, unique skill set for the job market. On a personal note, and this year I think I have a problem because I see some of my students also here. But on a personal note, I want to say that I enjoyed always teaching the DLG students the fundamentals of econ much more than my students. Because you've been very active all the time, and I can put this diplomatically, so you always ask very interesting out-of-the-box questions. And I just can also support what the director said. For me, it's also always very impressive, your final presentation, where you're given this role that you play on short notice in another language is really impressive. So let me now come to this small lecture, the last lecture that I give you, and I want to say some words on economics. One of the great ironies of my discipline is this: we do not need to understand economics in order to experience economics. Your everyday life consists of voluntary exchange. You invest your time to study here at the DA, giving up other opportunities, such as having more spare time or starting to work earlier. You go to the supermarket, you buy something, food, drinks. You might sell your old econ books on eBay. You might also have to apply for a student loan. So you're always part of financial market, the good market, and the service market. Hence, your everyday life consists of dealing with trade-offs, opportunity costs, and prices. Now you might think, right, so why did we have to study economics? So this is like, okay, someone tells us how to walk, but we walk all the day, so what about this? And the short answer is this: although economics can be experienced without understanding it, we might need to understand it in order to keep its benefits. And the benefits of econ, the benefits of freedom of exchange are easily explained, because no one puts a gun to your head when you go to the supermarket. No one forces you to buy something, and no one forces the seller to sell. One can think that after the exchange, everyone is better off. Of course, we cannot measure this being better off, but if we could measure it, and if we would sum it up for all the individuals, we would get a huge positive number. In other words, economics left alone is a positive sum game. And this economics, this freedom of exchange, exists under an institutional framework. And this is where you come into play. Because when I had a look at your yearbooks, I know that many of you will end up working in diplomacy or other ministries. And these institutions that are actually responsible for this institutional framework are not led by economists. They are led by politicians. But these politicians and politics, this is not a positive sum game. Politicians run for votes. If votes increase for one party, it means a decrease in votes for another party. So this is at best a zero-sum game. It's a completely different world. Also, sometimes politicians tend to concentrate benefits on small, well-organized lobby groups, while dispersing the costs to the general, maybe ignorant public. This is not good economics. Good economics, by contrast, would concentrate costs on decision makers and disperse the benefits widely over the population. So now, if you think this was too long, I would really like you to remember only this. More often than not, good economics conflicts with good politics under democracy. We hence need students that go into the public sector to remember this. We need students that do not get trapped by groupthink, inertia, and self-preservation, issues that frequently plague institutions. What I mean by this is, keep you out of the box asking. This is also what the director said. Again, this is no pressure on you, this is just a recommendation. So this brings me already to the end of my speech. Once again, on behalf of the faculty, I would like to congratulate you to your degree. You graduated from a multidisciplinary program that offered you a wide range of perspectives through our courses, but also through the events and seminars held at the DA. I really hope that you stay in contact with us on social media or by visiting one of our many events from time to time. Our Summerfest this Friday is also a good occasion to connect with former alumni. Go out there into the world, remember the things I said, or at least some things, and make us proud. Many thanks.
We now call the graduates of the 60th Diploma program. Olena Baipakova, Ukraine. Anna-Sanziana Beschia, Canada, Romania. Mak Bisa, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia. Luca Botteri, Croatia. Jan Concius, Germany. Pierre-Étienne Courrier, France. Anastasia Cvetkovic, Austria. Elena Eisenhofer, Austria. Arthur Gehr, Austria. Michael Herglotz, Austria. Cristiana Ioana Iucubumbu, Romania. Qusay Kamis, Syria. Nikola Lekic, Austria, Serbia. Julia Makarejkina, Slovakia. Evan McGunn, Ireland. Veronika Nechaeva, Russian Federation. Gerolf Riegler, Austria. Johanna Rutter, Austria. Christoph Samitz, Austria. Shi Yu, China. Damian Anthony Slobbe, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Wolfgang Sonnleitner, Austria. Sergei Valenzuela, United States of America. Gilbert Johannes Wolfgang Walter Wilfern, Austria.
Dear Director Ambassador Brix, dear Deputy Director Schubert, dear Administration Board and professors, families and friends, dear graduates. What an adventure this has been indeed. Only 9 months ago, we came here to this great historical institution, the oldest professional school in the world, and now it is already time to part ways. If it feels like the blink of an eye, it's only because it was a truly memorable experience. We came here from all walks of life, and we will leave now with a bond that we will share forever. We are truly grateful to all the professors for the amazing education we received at the DA and for the knowledge they bestowed upon us. From international relations to economics to law to the much dreaded 8:30 language classes in the morning, we will cherish and nurture it all, and we will use most of it in the future, even the WTO law. Among us, we've had historians, engineers, translators, artists, people who have already had a career and people who are just discovering theirs now. But no matter where we find ourselves on this path, either at the very beginning or somewhere in the middle, here at the Diplomatic Academy, we moved in unison. I'm proud to say that our group, the 60th DLG, Visionaries the New Realist, had great synergy and an amazing sense of camaraderie. Rumor has it even made some of the others on campus a little jealous. We always helped and cared for each other, supported each other, from course to course, from trimester to trimester. We always knew how to make each other laugh, and we always made sure that each and every single one of us felt included in this beautiful DA family. We have found our esprit de corps, which is something that we learned in Professor Badel's class, Histoire des pratiques diplomatiques, of course. In the theater world, it is said that a good show should always end leaving you wanting more. Our academic year at the DA has been an excellent show. And now, here's a little something about the protagonists. Jan, we hope you settled your dilemma between becoming a German or an Austrian diplomat, and that you chose the latter. Regardless, you will be brilliant at it anyway. Damien, there you are. You certainly brought a lot of pizzazz to our cohort, and we were all much more stylish, a much more stylish bunch, thanks to you. Gary, our laid-back environmentalist, the best hiking guide, and the one with the best concert recommendations around Vienna. Anastasia, quite a classy lady, and certainly the one with the best handwriting among all of us. Truly impressive. If anyone needed notes, you were the person to go to. Arthur, we all enjoyed heated political conversation with you around the pool table. Mickey, the mayor of Burgenland, of course. Prolific tour guide and impressive athlete. The weekend you organized for us in Burgenland remains one of the highlights of this year. Christiana, the most nurturing and caring soul of the DLGs. Whenever someone needed something, you were always there for us. Christoph, where is he? Christoph, there you are. The stellar student, the walking encyclopedia. From history to opera to economics, your knowledge blew us all away. Evan, with you, we learned that history is always fascinating. But did we know what the British did? Elena, my Brussels roommate, what a great trip we had. What a great trip we all had. You always gave the best restaurant recommendations, not only in Vienna, but also in Geneva, where we needed your guidance, even though you weren't even there with us. Johanna, my fellow museum buddy, you always, where is she? Johanna, there you are. You always carried yourself with such elegance, and you're a perfect example of the 3 C's, cool, calm, and collected. Perfect for diplomacy. Julia, your energy powered us on the day we needed a little push. Whether it's hiking or an event, or any other kind of initiative, you are always there, front line, first, ready to deliver. Nika, oh, how we encouraged and comforted each other in Professor Velkid's challenging German classes. Those early 8:30 classes were much easier to bear, thanks to you. Olena, or as we called her in German class, Frau Dr. Olena, because she was much wiser than the rest of us. Thank you for your kind words and your calm demeanor. Nicola, you always exhibit a certain je ne sais quoi worthy of a diplomat, a true gentleman. Pierre-Etienne, in keeping with French tradition, you are a great debate buddy, and I always enjoyed agreeing and disagreeing with you, and in French it's even better, so I'm sure you'll dazzle them at Georgetown. Sergey, always with a smile on your face. You enlightened, where is he? There you are. You enlightened this place and made everyone feel at ease, especially when times were tough. Luca, or Mr. Buttery, as Professor Neude calls you, phlegmatic and always poised. We all envied a little your composure and your no-nonsense approach. Mac, you are legendary. Always take curious and the world will embrace you. We all did, and we followed your lead, and now the whole DA will forever ask, what? She, you. We all enjoyed your dry sense of humor, and your knowledge of German bedazzled all of us, particularly when you corrected the professors. Wolfgang, our beloved master of the dungeon, but in spite of the threatening name, the biggest heart at the DA. Always in a good mood, always willing to help, always with an angelic smile on your face, except when you're preparing for your final presentation with Professor Kompost. And Qusay, already a diplomat in many ways. When emotions ran high, you were always there, ready to come up with the perfect combination of sarcasm and soothing words, which is a tricky balance to find, but yet you mastered it very skillfully. So thank you all for making this experience a truly unforgettable one. Wir haben das endlich geschafft. Bonne chance à tous pour la suite. And now I will end on a light quote from American anthropologist Margaret Mead. Always remember that you are unique, just like everybody else. Thank you.
Dear Director Ambassador Brix, dear Deputy Schubert, dear professors, administration board, family, friends, and dear fellow graduates. Let me start by thanking our dear Anna for setting a first at the DA Ball by giving an amazing ballet dance, a performance unparalleled par none, except for your understanding of international affairs. I guess after all, ballerina and politics do share a lot in common. Your speech highlighted how us, the 60th DLG, became to be this strong family. This couldn't have happened without the leadership of you, dear Jan. Your leadership and tireless work to make the DLG go out together at least once a week made us get to know each other up close. You and our dear Damien set an example for what course speakers should be. Please join us here on the stage, both of you. And let's give them a standing ovation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We would like also to thank the administration team of the DA for dedication, attention to detail, and their willingness to help when a storm is approaching during endless exams. Dear Jenny, thank you for being part of our year, and we all wish you the best in whatever plans you have for the future. The DA and us will miss you truly. Thank you, Jenny. We would also like to thank our language professors, all of them. I hope by now you have realized that us waking up early in the morning almost every day to attend one of your classes, especially the German one, was indeed a source of sheer joy for us. A big thank you to Mr. Young and the entire in-house team of the DA. Your love for making sure that we are well-fed and well-accommodated is worthy of endless praise. We cannot but also be thankful to the ladies within the team who worked tirelessly during this year and who made sure that we had enough salad on our plates and that our king of the dungeon, Wolfgang, has enough sweets to pull an all-nighter while everybody else is asleep. The phrase visionary is the new realist challenges us to rethink our perception of what is possible. It urges us to blend the creativity of visionary thinking with the practicality of realism. In other words, it's not enough to dream big. We must also be grounded in the reality of what it takes to turn those dreams into tangible achievements. And among us, we have so many visionaries. We have Arthur, Jan, Gilbert, Gary, Christoph, Elena, and Nicola, who wants to see the EU in a healthy state, and we are sure that they will work towards that goal. We have Olena, Julia, and Veronica, who dream to see their countries back in state of peace. We have Pierre-Etienne, Michael, Damien, and Luca, who wants to make a positive change in the diplomatic service. We have Mac, who wants to see the Balkan in a better state. And we have Johanna, Christiana, Anastasia, and Anna, who wants to make sure that women are also leaders of the future. We have Wolfgang, Shruyu, Sergei, and Evan, who wants to bring the world to the world a more compassionate place. And finally, we have the place itself, the Diplomatic Academy, who envisions and dreams of providing world-class education to global leaders since 1754. All of these dreams, we are sure that we will live the day to see them coming in reality, gradually, of course. Now, speaking of reality, I know many of us are wondering what is next. Well, here is a tip. Just remember, diplomacy is the art of telling someone to go to hell in such a way that they look forward to the trip. And yes, it's just as tricky as it sounds. As we embark on our respective path, let's remember that being a visionary means more than just imagining a better future. It means having the courage to pursue it, even when the odds seem insurmountable. It means being innovative, adaptable, and resilient. It means embracing challenges as opportunities to grow and improve. In the world of international studies and diplomacy, we often hear that the shortest distance between 2 points is still under construction. But that's what makes our field so fascinating. It's the constant negotiation, the delicate balance, and the ability to see beyond the present conflicts to build lasting peace and cooperation. Today, we find ourselves in a particularly complicated and dangerous times. Global tensions are high, with conflicts erupting in unexpected places, environmental crises threatening our future, and an ever-increasing need for strong, thoughtful leadership. It's a world where misinformation can spread like wildfire, and where diplomacy is more critical than ever. Yes, it's precisely in these challenging moments that our skills and education become invaluable. Navigating this complex landscape requires the wisdom to understand diverse perspectives and the empathy to connect with people across cultures. It demands the foresight of a visionary and the grounded approach of a realist. Today, as we celebrate our accomplishment, let's commit to being visionary realists. Let's dare to dream. Let's be the generation that bridges the gap between aspiration and action, the dreamers who build, innovate, and lead with purpose. In closing, I want to remind each one of us that our journey is just beginning. The world needs our visions, our ideas, and our passion. Let's go forward with confidence, knowing that our dreams, backed by action and perseverance, can indeed shape a brighter future. And I'm sure that each one of us will be contributing to that. Congratulations to the class of the 60th DLG. Let's be visionary and let's change the world. Thank you.
Dear festive community, please give a big round of applause to the brass quartet of the University Concert of Vienna. You heard so many motivating speeches. This is simply the very end. Go out and be brave and enjoy the day. Thank you very much for coming.